Hi everyone, my name is Allison and I would like to walk you through a couple of resources that you'll be using when you plan your lessons in the Standout curriculum. One of them is an online resource that you can access from home so that you can actually look up the worksheets and the materials that you might want to use during your lesson. And the other is a flash drive that we will have loaded onto your computers in your classroom. So those you'll be able to access once you're here. You won't be teaching your lessons on a computer, you'll still be using the book, but you will be using the audios from this flash drive. So I want to make sure that you know how to use them and how to locate them. I'm going to show you how to access the online resource on your home computer, and actually I've already sent you the link to do this and most of you have already looked at it. So I'm going to open up our browser, and then in our laptop I've already bookmarked it, and I really recommend that you do this at home so that you can just open it easily whenever you want it. And then from there you're going to have to log in. So in order to do that, you would click on the Teacher Companion site. And in this situation, I've already logged in, but you have the logon information. The login is Standout and the password is teacher, but you have that in your training materials. So I'm going to pick the level that I want to use. And in this case, I'm going to use basic because most of you, when you start out with a student, will have a student in basic. Most of our students come in at the beginner level, and so I would prefer to use a level that you're all going to need to be familiar with. And that, in fact, is the level that I will be working with my student Maria in the next part of this video. So what I want to show you is what you will be using and what you will not be using. The first tab that you see here is Canvas, and you have no need to use that, but you may wish to use the teacher's book, even though you will have a hard copy of the teacher's book at home. For some of you, it might be easier just to access it here. The tricky part is that it is the entire book, so it takes a long time to download, and I don't think I'm even going to download it here. When you right after you watch this, you're going to have the teacher's book in hand. So I don't think it's worth your time in this particular video to show it to you. But you can see where it says download, and it takes about a minute to download it, and then it has all of the pages in the teacher's book. So in your teacher's book, there is this little box that provides you with the goals for the session, the grammar that you'll be teaching. It tells you what audio tracks you'll be using and what worksheets you could access along with the workbook pages. So as I said, I won't go into that here. You can look at that when you get your book, but definitely use that information to guide your lesson plan. In every lesson, and I will actually show you what the book looks like in the next section. In every lesson, there is one or two, maybe two, audio tracks to play. You want to be able to use this in your classroom, so I want you just to hear one of them. When you click on the audio tab while you're at home, it will ask, do you want the student book audio or do you want the multi-level worksheets audio? And you may use both, but for our purposes, I'm going to show you the student book audio. And the lesson that I'm about to teach is in Unit 1, Lesson 1, and it is the first track, so I'm just going to play that for you here. And my student will have to listen to this and differentiate, choose information that she hears.
I want to introduce two new students today. This is Edgar. He is from Senegal. He lives in Sacramento. His phone number is 916-555-3765. Meet Julie. She's...
Okay, you get the idea. So you'll be using these tracks each week on the computer that is in your classroom. The next tab I want to talk about is videos, and I want to let you know that there is only one video per unit, even though there are 5 lessons per unit. And you can access the videos here. You can watch them at home before you come to class so you know what to expect. But the videos will need to be played as I said, just the one time, so it's not something that is as important as those audios that are in every lesson. The next tab is documents, and there's quite a bit of information here that might be useful, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It has the notes from the life skills video for the teacher, has audio scripts if you want copies, or video scripts. It has the workbook answer key, which is also at the back of your teacher's guide. So, and this pacing guide that you see right here, in your teacher's guide and in every lesson, it will have little colored boxes next to each assignment within the lesson. And the box that explains how the lesson should be taught will tell you whether the box you're looking at, if it's red, it might be a 90-minute lesson. If it's green, it could be a two-hour lesson, and if it's another color, it could be a 3-hour lesson. So the pacing guide kind of it tells you which assignments to use in order to keep your lesson at 90 minutes, which is what our lessons run for. From documents, let me switch to assessments. You are not required to give your student an assessment, but if you would like to give her one after you complete a unit, just to make sure that she can meet all the goals in the unit, you can click on here, and it's really pretty easy. The ready to go test, you just tell it what unit you're in, and it will open it up for you. So in this case, I'm in unit 2, and a test. Just open it up, and there you go. So, and you can follow it along. You can print it if you want to and give it to your student to take home. You can do the test with her in class. It's up to you, or you can skip using it altogether. That is your choice. And the last tab that we're going to talk about here is the activity bank, and that is something I would like you to take a look at when you have a minute. In the activity bank, you'll find worksheets for your student, and I want to talk about them just for a minute. Up at the top, it says multi-level worksheets, and when I click on that for Unit 2 and Lesson 1, I want you to notice that there are low-level worksheets, mid-level worksheets, and high-level worksheets. So typically with my student, I pick the mid-level, but as you go through them, you'll choose the one that is the best for your student. I don't think at this point in time that we're going to be printing all of those, because I just think that that's kind of a waste of paper, but you can either print the worksheets at home, or you can request that we print them for you ahead of time for now, and we'll see how that goes. The other thing I want to show you is all the way down at the bottom, it says fillable worksheets. And hopefully at some point in time, we will have laptops on your desks in your classrooms where you have online access, and you can access these directly in your classroom instead of making copies at home. And once you do that, this one is a worksheet that you can actually work on the screen with your student. So, for example, here, your student has to fill in the correct possessive adjective. She is from Argentina. Her address is, and I just wanted you to see how that works. So, I think that's it. You don't really need this skill correlation chart tab. You can look at it if you'd like, but you won't be using it for your classes. So I'm going to close out of the online resource now, and I want to show you what will be in your classroom and what you'll be accessing. So if you look on the side here, I'm going to click on the Standout Basic. But your classroom one is going to have, you can see you saw the other levels. Your classroom will have an icon for every level, and you can open it. So here it has the units that are within my basic book, and we have just started lesson number 2. So I'm going to click there, And then once you open that, you can choose the lesson, I'm sorry, it was Unit 2. You can choose the lesson that you want, or you can look at the workbook pages if you want to review those before you start working on them with your student and assign those for homework. So if I click on lesson number 1, which is what I covered with my student today, you'll see that on the side here, there are some little icons. And as you play with this, you'll get more information. So this first little icon gives you a teacher tip. And then the more important one is that if you use the online resource, this is what you would click for audio. And it tells you which audio track to pick. But if you're using this in your classroom with your student, then you click on the musical notes.
I want to introduce 2 new students today. This is Edgar. He is from
So
Senegal.
you'll see it was exactly the same. Same audio that you just heard that was online. So obviously you have the students' pages here. You can click from one page to another as you want to move forward. I would not recommend that you teach your lesson on the laptop itself. I think it's better for the student if you actually work in her book side by side, but I just want you to know that this is here. And then there are some icons along the bottom, most of which you probably won't use, like putting a window shade over certain material. You might zoom. You shouldn't have to erase anything, highlighting, a pen, etc. So I just want you to know what is on that particular flash drive. You will not be given the flash drive to take home. It will only be on the laptop that is in your classroom. So the last thing I think I want to say is that you will be able to find lesson plans for a standout once we get into the summer, and they'll be loaded on our website so you can print them at home. We'll have a detailed one, and then we'll have a simpler one depending on which one you prefer to use. I think that's all. We're going to move right into our lesson with my student Maria. Thank you. Okay, let's get started. Good morning, Maria.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's practice the date, the way that we do every week when you come in. So do you remember
Yes.
today?
Today is Thursday,
Good.
22nd April 2021.
Okay, but in English, remember we flip, so it
Yeah.
would be April.
Oh, okay.
20.
April 22nd, 2021.
Perfect. And tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Friday,
Okay.
23rd, April
There you go.
23rd, 2021.
Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to do a 2-minute practice because we haven't practiced the alphabet in a few weeks. So I'm going to tell you a letter and ask you to please write the letter. Okay? So please write the letter V.
B.
Okay. This is B. So please write V. There you go. Okay. Remember, this is the hard one for everybody because it's a little, in Spanish it almost sounds the same, but in English that's different. So let's try the letter M for Maria.
M.
Perfect. How about the letter A for Allison? Perfect. Good. And how about the letter J? Perfect. Wonderful. You're doing great. Let me make it a little harder. Let's do a couple of vowels. Okay. All right. How about E?
E.
Perfect. That's the hard one. Good. And I? Excellent job. Very good. You've been studying. And O. And the last letter is going to be Z. Z with the brazo. There you go. Okay, good. All right. So notice the order of the letters. They're not in the order of the alphabet, are they? This would be at the beginning of the alphabet. This would be at the beginning of the alphabet. This is at the end of the alphabet. So last week, when I sent you home, I gave you some little cards, these cards, and they have people's names on them. So together, you and I are going to put those names in the order of the alphabet using the first name of the letter. So I'm going to get rid of this, and we'll just put them out here. So Elisa, we'll put Elisa first. Does Safa come in front of or behind Elisa?
Yes.
Good, okay. How about the next one? Can you read that name?
Nelly.
Good, good. Go ahead. Excellent. Good, and Maria? And Brenda? You're running out of room. And Allison?
Creo que sí.
Okay. So let's do in our heads A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H,
Oh.
I, J, K.
L.
There you go. L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. So now we have them in alphabetical order, okay? And that is a new skill. We've never practiced that before. It's just the start of something so that in your head you start organizing your words in alphabetical order. All right, great. We can put those away. And we can put this away for now. I'm going to take that. And I had you do 1 page of homework because you finished a whole unit. So we finished all of Unit 1, and the very last page in your workbook is the unit review. So the first thing that you had to do was look at this application and fill in personal information. So if you were going to fill in this information, what is this word?
Name.
Okay, and what goes in that field?
Street address.
Well, what goes here?
Oh.
It is name. What's your name?
Maria.
So that would go there. And then what goes here?
Street address.
Okay, and what is your street address?
1107 Banks Street, Aurora, Illinois.
Great, really good. What is your,
City, Aurora,
okay, and
Illinois.
about what's this word?
State.
Good.
State.
Is this word state or estate?
No, state.
There you go, got it. And this word?
Zip code.
Okay.
607. No, 505.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got it. You got it. I know. That's a little confusing, and it's nerve-wracking to be doing this on tape. So you're doing great. All right. So what does this question ask?
Where do you write John Smith?
Okay. And where would you write John Smith?
Number 1.
Right. And number
Name.
1 would be name. Good.
Name.
And then what does number 2 say?
Where do you write 92704?
Okay.
Zip code.
Okay.
Number 5.
Okay. Good. So let's circle
Yeah.
that. Okay. That's okay. We usually have 3 pages of homework, and all you had was a very little, so I understand if you missed a couple. And then what are they asking for here?
What is the second Tuesday?
What is the second Tuesday?
The second Tuesday is 9.
Good. And you circled 9. Excellent. And the last one?
What day of the week is January 5th?
I know, that's the tough one.
Friday.
Okay, very good. You did a great job. And we can put that book aside. So we can put that out of range. And I think I took your book. So let's open your book up to page 36. We are starting a brand new unit. Good job. And our new unit is called Our Class. And they want us, sometimes in the lessons they have us do predictions. So they want you to look at this picture and tell me, what do you think these people are doing? And who are these people?
Practice dentist.
Yeah, it does look like they're and it looks like maybe they're kind of young, right? So maybe they are dental students.
Yeah.
Because these are not real people, right? These are called models when you practice on them. So they have a couple questions for you. The first one is, what can you see in the classroom? And you just told me that. And then, what are the students doing? And you answered me that too. You said they're doing dentistry. The other thing we want to focus on right here is what we're going to be working on in this new unit. We're going to work on introducing yourself and others, and that will be our chapter today. We'll be working on that. And later, describe your surroundings, identify common activities, plan a schedule, and plan for weather. So those are the 5 lessons we're going to have in this unit, and I think it will be fun. So let's start here. What does it say our goal is? Can you read that?
Introduce yourself and others.
Very good. Introduce yourself and others. And this word is predict. Remember we talked about
Yes,
that? Because
yes.
it's similar, isn't it, in Spanish? So in this picture, what do you see? What is he doing?
The teacher, student,
Good. And he is introducing them, right?
introducing.
Can you guess where the students are from?
Yes.
I don't know either. We're going to have to listen and practice and find out. It's easier when we do these guessing, it's easier to guess where they're not from, isn't it, than guess where they're from. So they're going to have us listen and practice. I'm going to play this track, and I just want you to listen, okay? And then we're going to listen for information. Are you ready?
Right.
Okay, here we go.
He is from Senegal. He lives in Sacramento. His phone number is 916-555-3765. Meet Julie. She's also a new student. She is from Canada. She lives in Folsom. Her number is 916-555-4565.
Okay, I'm going to play it again. He's talking a little fast, so it's kind of hard. I'm going to play it one more time. We're going to listen for the words where he introduces them. So in one point he says, I want to introduce, and he also says, meet. Those are the 2 words he's using to introduce someone.
I want to introduce 2 new students today. This is Edgar. He is from Senegal. He lives in Sacramento. His phone number is 916-555-3765. Meet Julie. She's also a new student. She is from Canada. She lives in Folsom. Her number is 916-555-4565.
Okay, did you understand everything he said? So a lot of this is review. Some of the things he says are things we worked on in the last unit. The first thing he says is, I want to introduce, so that is new, 2 new students. This is Edgar. So he changed Edgar to he. He is from Senegal. Remember when we talked about that? We talked about, this is Maria. She is from Florida. She lives in Aurora, right? And that's what he's doing here. And then he says, he is from Senegal. He lives in Sacramento. And then he gives his phone number. The phone number is, or this word his, is possessive, possessivo, because the phone number belongs to Edgar. Does that make sense? Okay, and then let's talk about Julie. Meet Julie. She is also a new student. She is from Canada, but she lives in Folsom. Her number is, and then he gives her number. So for he, Edgar, it becomes his number, and for she, Julie, it becomes her number. A little different than what we've been using he and she, but not his and her. So that's going to be different. So we're going to listen one more time, And this time they want you to listen for the information about Edgar and Julie. What information do they want?
Phone number.
Right? And
City.
city. But they don't say which city. So I think what they mean is the city they live in. Okay? So that just so you know, they're not looking for where they're from. They're looking for where they live.
Sacramento.
Okay, that would be true, but let's listen and see if you can do it by listening instead of by reading.
Okay.
And if not, we'll go back and we'll do it by reading. One more time.
I want to introduce two new students today. This is Edgar. He is from Senegal. He lives in Sacramento. His phone number is 916-555-3765. Meet Julie. She's also a new student. She is from Canada. She lives in Folsom. Her number is 916-555-4565.
Okay. It's too fast. It's too fast for you to hear it and write it down. So let's use the words in your book to write it down. So for Edgar, we need his phone number. Can you read his phone number for me?
Yeah. It's 916-555-3765.
Good. And then what city is he living in?
Sacramento.
Okay, good. All right, let's do Julie's information.
Julie's phone number is 916-555-4565.
Okay, and what city is Julie from?
Folsom.
Right, and by I mean, what city is she living in? Sorry, I confused you. Yes,
Lives in
Folsom.
Folsom.
Okay, excellent, perfect, great job. So on this page, we're introducing these possessive adjectives, and we're going to practice those today a couple of times. So if I am the subject, then whatever I'm talking about belongs to me, and it's mine. So I am Allison. My name is Allison. You are Maria. Your name is Maria. Okay? And on he is Edgar. His name is Edgar. She is Julie. Her name is Julie. We are, we don't have the same last name, so we can't say we are Perez's. But we would change that to our. So I might say, we are in room 6. Our class is room 6. And then they have a teacher named Mr. Jackson. Their teacher is Mr. Jackson. Okay? So I'm going to have you read those sentences for me because I want you to practice those the sounds of those new words. So how about there?
My phone number is 555-3456.
Good.
Your address is 2359 Maple Drive.
Good.
His name is Edgar. Her name is Julie.
Good.
Our last name is Perez.
Good.
Their teacher is Mr. Jackson.
Okay, good. I know those are tricky. All right, so here, using this chart, they want us to relate the pictures and come up with the correct answer to fill in the blank. So I'm going to read it first, and then I'm going to have you read it. This is Mr. Jackson. His phone number is 555-2813. All right, now let's have you read it.
And this is Mr. Jackson.
It's okay. Mr. Jackson is Mr. Jackson a he or a she? He's a he, so we say his phone number.
His phone number is 555-2813.
Yeah. Good.
His address is 3317 Maple Drive.
Okay, excellent. So you kind of see what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this time we're talking about Irma and Edgar. Which of these words would describe Irma and Edgar?
We.
Would it be we or
Oh.
if it is we, it's going to include us.
Yeah. They.
You got it. Good. Good. See,
They.
you got it. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're looking to switch from they to their.
There.
So Irma and Edgar are married.
Mm-hmm.
Their
Their.
phone number is 555. Okay.
Their phone number is 553756.
Their
Their
address. Good.
address is 1700 Burns Avenue.
Okay, good. All right, and now we have 4 more. So we have to change John is a singer. John would be what in this chart?
John. He.
Yes. So when we talk about things that belong to John, we're going to use his.
His. John is single. His address is 3215 Park Street.
Okay, good.
Okay, number 2. Your
That was a tricky
Your-
one.
a student here. Okay, you your phone number.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
your-
correct.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
write it in, and then let's talk about that. That's a little
Your phone number.
tricky.
Is 555-2121, right?
Good. And so this your
Mm-hmm.
is really saying, remember how we were working on contractions? So they're really saying
Yeah.
you are
You are.
a student here. So you would change to your when you're talking about
Your.
possessive. So you did a great job figuring that out. This one's a little tricky too. So what would that one be?
Where? From Russia.
Good.
She.
So we,
Oh, yeah.
there you go. Our address.
Our address is 1652 Main Street.
Okay, good.
I'm a new student. My
There
name
you
is
go.
Julie.
Good job. Yes.
My
That's-
name is Julie.
That's not easy because you're learning 6 new words all at the same time. And we just learned these. so that is not an easy thing. You're doing great. You're doing a really good job with that. All right. Let's turn the page, but before we do that we'll do the next page first, and then I have an exercise we're going to do together. So in this one, can you read me the directions?
Learn the introduction.
Very good. Okay. So in the previous page, the teacher said, I want to introduce, or you could say this is, or you could say meet. So if I were going to introduce you to someone, I'd say, this is Maria, or meet Maria, or I want to introduce Maria. All right? What they're talking about here is circling. So you're going to be listening, and they want you to circle what you hear. So when you listen to number 1, you have to figure out, did they say this is? Did they say meet? Or did they say, I want to introduce? Okay, you ready? So I got to go find track number 34 for you. And then circle the one that you think is correct. You ready?
Ready.
Okay.
1. Hi, Edgar. I want to introduce you to Susan. She is a friend of mine from class.
Hello, Susan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
2. Class, it is my pleasure to tell you about a new student. Please meet Jonathan. He's from Canada. His address and phone number are available if you want to contact him. 3.
My name is Susan, and this is my good friend Emmanuel. Emmanuel is from Israel. We live in Sacramento. Our class is next door.
Nice to meet you. What's your teacher's name?
It's Mr. Jackson.
Okay, so it's a little confusing because the first person that is speaking is the one that's doing the introducing. And that's what you want to be listening for. How does that person introduce the other? And then once that happens, the other person says, "Nice to meet you," and that is confusing. So let's listen again, and I'm gonna talk over the part where he's introducing so you hear it. Okay? So just listen for a second.
1. Hi, Edgar. I want to introduce you to Susan. She is a friend of mine from class.
I want to introduce you to Susan. Did you hear it that time? And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times before we hear it. Okay, I'm going to let that one keep going, and then I'm
Hello,
going to go to 2.
Susan. Nice to meet you.
That was
Nice to meet
That's
you
number
too.
1.
2. Class, it is my pleasure to tell you about a new student. Please meet Jonathan.
Meet Jonathan. Now do you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard. You have to know what you're
Yeah.
listening for, right? All right, so let's finish number 2.
He's from Canada. His address and phone number are available if you want to contact him. 3.
My name is Susan, and this is my good friend Emmanuel.
Yeah, there you go. You got it that time. This is my friend so-and-so. And then the friend might say, "Nice to meet you." So that's what was confusing about that. Okay, all right, you did a great job. You only played it 2 times. So now I'm going to introduce you to some people, and we're going to add a little bit more information to it, okay? But I'm going to use these phrases, okay? So I want to introduce you to Clayton. He is from Illinois, but he lives in South Carolina. Okay? Meet Madeline. She is from Illinois, but she lives in Ohio. And this is Rachel. She is from Illinois, but she lives in Indiana. Okay? Let's see. This is Michael. I was going to have you do it, but I can't figure out how to have you switch it. He is from Alabama, but he lives in Indiana. Okay? All right. Can you do, this is me. Can you do me? Can you introduce me? This?
She is Allison.
Okay.
She lives in Illinois.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. And I'm from Illinois, so that makes it easier. But if you were going to introduce me to someone else, you would say to her, "This is Allison." Or you could say, "I want to introduce Allison. She is from Illinois and she lives in Illinois." Okay? So I want to practice using those introductions with you. All right? This little square here, talking about intonation, is making sure that when you ask these kind of questions, like you would ask here, that your voice goes down at the end of the question. So, for example, what's your name? What's your phone number? And what's your address? Can you hear how my voice goes down? Okay. So they're just explaining to you how you would ask that and where your voice should go. So let's try, let's see if will you remember their names that I told you? Maybe not.
Claire.
Okay,
Claire.
all right. So what's his name?
Her name.
His name,
His name is Claire.
Clayton.
Clayton.
And where is he from?
He's from Illinois.
Yes, yeah, because they're all from Illinois, except for Michael. Okay, this is Karen. why don't you ask me about what state she's in. Oh, shoot. I was trying not to use she because I wanted you to do it, but that's all right. That's all right. We'll finish this part later. It accomplished what we needed to, and we have a worksheet that we can do that will help us get there. So the worksheet that we're working on is going to be the same information that we were working on here. What are our instructions? Can you read that?
Read the information.
Okay. So the information they gave us is name, address, city and state, and phone number, right? And here, they want us to practice conversations. And you can see that this conversation is about student A, student B, and Kim. So one person is introducing Kim to the other, okay? This is going to be Kim, okay? And I think I would like, for this starter, let's have you be student A. So you're going to introduce Kim, okay? So,
This is my friend Kim.
nice to meet you, Kim. And I'll be Kim, too. Nice to meet you, too. What's your name?
Okay.
Oh, that's me. My name's Allison.
Okay. Where do you live, Kim?
My address is 2651 First Street, Santa Ana, California, 92704. Okay? This time, we're going to introduce Isaac. This is Isaac. So I will be, let's see. I think you be A and I'll be B. I'll be B and Isaac, okay?
I want to introduce Isaac.
Okay. Hello, Isaac. Hello. What's your name? My name's Allison.
What's your phone number, Isaac?
My phone number is 518-555-3654. All right. So now we have Marcus. So this is going to have to be Marcus. And this time I'll be A and you be, oh, how did we get Marcus and Austin? You be Austin, okay? I'll be A and B. This is my friend Austin. How are you, Austin?
Fine, thanks. What's your name?
My name's Allison. What's your last name, Austin?
It's Marcus.
Okay. That was confusing,
Yeah.
but you understand now how to introduce someone? So if you were going to introduce me to meet your family, what would you say?
This is my teacher, Alison.
Yes, very good. This is my teacher, Allison.
This is-
Yes.
yeah.
Or you could say, meet Allison. She is my teacher. Okay, very good. That's excellent. So, and that's what they asked us to do down here at the bottom of this worksheet. So now let's switch, and we're going to work on those possessive adjectives again. All right, let's go over them again. All right, so if it's I am Maria, it's my name is Maria. You are Maria, your name is Maria. He is Austin, his name is Austin. She is Kim, her name is Kim. We are in classroom number 6. Our classroom number is 6. They are friends. Their teacher is Mr. Jackson. Okay? All right. So here we're going to fill in the blank using these words. So, and it gives you a clue, right? He is a good student, so he changes to his phone number. How about you try number 1?
She is from Argentina.
Good.
Here,
Yeah, her.
her address is 3654 Edinger,
Edinger. Mhm.
Edinger Street.
Good.
Okay. I am a student. My name.
Good.
My name's Federico.
Okay, good.
We live in New York. Or
There you go.
School.
Very good. Did you remember that, or are you
Yeah.
using the chart?
no.
You remembered it. I know, because you
Our
have a great
school is
memory.
new.
Can you do the rest of this for homework?
Mhm.
This little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Then in this section, it says read and complete the paragraph with possessive adjectives. This is more difficult, so I think we should do this out loud before you do it at home. So here you have to fill in the blank. Something
Yes.
friend, Gloria, is a student in Florida. What do you think would go there?
My
Yes,
My
okay. You
friend.
can fill it in if you want. My friend Gloria is a student in Florida,
she's
but they're talking about
Teacher.
Gloria's teacher, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
possessive.
Mhm.
So she becomes
yeah. No. Here
her
Here.
teacher.
her teacher
Mhm.
Mr. Frank
Mhm.
McWay.
Mackay. You can put her in there since you already did it. Her teacher is Mr. Frank Mackay. Mr. Mackay is a good teacher.
They
This time, the sentence reads, blank students are all hard workers. So they're talking about the students that belong to Mr. Mackay. So Mr. Mackay is a he. So the students that belong to him would be his.
his
Okay, so go ahead and put that in there. His students. There you go. Good job. You're always good at that. They study English. Book is standout. So the book that belongs to the students would be, the students are the students you? That's not, I think I'm confusing you. Are the students, which of these words would describe the students?
we
Um,
they
yeah, because you're not part of the students. If you were part of the students, it would be we, but you're not. So we're talking about they. And the book that they use is their book.
they
That's why we're doing this
Their
out
book,
loud,
yeah.
because this is too hard for you
Yes,
to be
it's
doing
too-
at home. All right, so their book is standout. Blank class is in the morning. So again, it's their class is in the morning. Okay, you read the rest of it.
Gloria is a good student.
Good.
She's from Mexico. She likes Mr. Mackay.
Good. All right, perfect. So just do this one little section, okay? And let's move your workbook over and look at the workbook pages you'll have. So we're going to be in Unit 2, Lesson 1. There we go. All right, perfect. Wonderful. So remember, our goal for this lesson was to introduce yourself and others. What does this instruction say?
Read the information.
Good. All right, and we have Philippe, Ava, Gabriella, and Dong. It says to complete the conversations. So let's try to do a little bit of this together. Can you read that?
This is Gabriela. She is the teacher.
Good.
Down. Nice to meet you, Gabriela. I'm Down.
Okay, and Gabriella
Gabriela.
says,
Nice to meet you too.
okay. So now let's try to do this one together.
I want to introduce Down. Nice to meet you, Down. Nice to meet you too.
Okay, good. And then let's do one more.
Meet Eva. Nice to meet you, Eva. Nice to meet you too.
Okay, good. Let's see. Da, 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 da. All right. Oh, now I see. Sorry, I missed this. So see, in this conversation, it says, this is Gabriella. She is the teacher. So in here, when he says, I want to introduce Dong, you will say,
Student,
he.
he is a new
He
student.
is a student. Yeah,
New
so go
student.
ahead and put that in there.
He is
And then here where Felipe says, nice to meet you, Dong, he'll say, I'm Felipe. See, just like this. Okay, good. And since this is a new sentence, I'm just going to use a capital. All right, so for this one, meet Eva, what should we say?
student. She is Eva.
She is a student, good.
Yes.
And Gabriella will say, nice to meet you, Ava, or Eva. I'm Gabriella. Okay? And this one you can do at home now that you know, now that we know what we're doing. And then I would like you to read those again at home, because it says to practice. Here it says to read the database, and this is the database. It's called a database. It has the first name, last name, whether they're male or female, address, city, etc. It has a lot of information. It has some abbreviations. DOB means date of birth. Remember, we talked about that. ST is the abbreviation for street. Avenue is the abbreviation for avenue. AVE is the abbreviation. So again, your workbook is introducing some new information that we didn't have in the chapter, and that's why the workbook pages are so important. This is new to you, and the word database is also new to you. So in here, they're going to have you answer some questions. Let's just have you do number 2. I think these are all very easy for you, but let's do, actually, let's do number 3.
Okay. What's Anaya?
I think it's Anya.
Anya? Native country.
Okay, so let's find
Here,
Anya. Let's
Wha-
find, okay.
What's Anya native country?
Her.
Here native country is
So where's Anya?
Anya. Anya.
Okay,
Bordo?
and what is her country? Where's her native country?
Oh no. Native Russia.
Okay, her native country is Russia. So go ahead and write that in. Okay, great. For the rest of these, they wrote it for you. So for these other ones, you don't have to write the whole sentence. See, it says her zip code is, so all you have to do is write the zip code. Okay? So you see what I'm saying? Like you didn't have to write all this. Her native country is Russia. Okay. So will you do those then at home for homework? Okay, good. And then I do want you to practice this chart again. Let's do these one more time. Go ahead and read this.
Okay. My phone number is 555-3456.
Okay.
Your address is 2359 Maple Drive.
Good.
His name is Edgar. Her name is Julie. Our last name is Perez.
Good.
Their teacher is Mr. Jackson.
Excellent. Okay. Beautiful. One more page, and that'll do it for your homework. So here, will you read the directions?
Complete the sentences with possessive adjectives.
Okay. So this is going to be a little tricky. In order to know whose address this, oh, they're telling you. So Kenji's address, you have to figure out whether Kenji is a he or a she, right? So you have to go back. Here's Kenji. M is for male. F is for
He.
female. Yes. Yeah, so do you understand M
yeah.
for male and female?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kenji is a he, you're right. And so if it's he, then what is the possessive adjective for he?
Here.
Yeah, his. not her, his.
His.
And let me show you where you find that. If you aren't sure, you can go here. So you know Kenji is a he,
Oh, yeah.
and you can
His.
find his here.
She
Okay?
is here.
So this is a little tricky, but I'm going to let you do this at home.
Yeah.
You got this, right? All right, and here, write sentences, use the database in exercise D. So again, you're filling in information here using that same database that we were working on before. Let's try number 4.
Anya and I are classmates.
Okay, so Anya and I. Which of these words would describe Anya and I?
Anya. Me.
Well, I, but not Anya, because it's Anya and I. Maria and I. So what word describes?
Anya.
Let's try this. What word describes Maria and I?
Teacher.
What word from here? Does I describe Maria and I?
No.
No. Does you describe Maria and I? No. You describes you, but not me. Which of these words describes you and me? Not he, not she.
We.
Yeah. Because if it was they, it would be they, right?
Okay.
But it's not, it's we. So we in possessive changes to our. So Anya and I are classmates. We are classmates. Our teacher is very tricky. See how much harder that's getting?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then this will be easy. Complete the database with your information, and you know how to do that. Questions? Yeah, you can do this
Yeah.
at home. That's very easy. So this whole page will be homework.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's it. Then we're on to lesson 2 for next week. Questions about this? Do you have questions?
Yeah.
You think you're okay with this? Okay. All right then. Go ahead and close it up. And I think that is all for today. Thank you very much.
Okay.